When designing a form, in addition to labels which describe details, and in addition to fields, which is where people enter information, we often want to add calculations based on the information that they enter. To add a calculation to a form, go to the Design tab in the ribbon, and in the Controls section, you're looking for the button called Text Box. I'm going to click the text box and then just click anywhere on my form because I'll tidy it up later. Here we have the field on the right and we have the label on the left. I'm going to start by editing the label. So instead of text 13, I'm actually going to call it GST and a colon. Oh no, I won't put a colon because I haven't used colons on these other labels. So just GST. Now I want the GST label to look like these other labels. So I might click on Class ID. I'll go to the Format tab in the ribbon and I'll choose the Format Painter. And I'll click on GST so it adopts the same look as that label. Now I'll go to Unbound. And in Unbound I actually want to work with its properties. So I'm going to right click the Unbound field and choose Properties, which forces the text field on the right hand side to show me its properties. Now I'd like to give it a proper name. Rather than text 13, I'd like to name this field GST. And I'd like to set the control source to a formula. The GST is equal square bracket cost square bracket star 0.15. So a formula is required or a calculation is required, and the formula or the calculation is equals the field cost, and that's this field over here, so it must be spelt correctly, and fields always have to appear in square brackets, and then star is multiply, is times, and multiply by 0.15, which is 15%, and press enter. And when I press enter, that control source not only appears there, but Unbound is now replaced with the formula on the form. Now the GST, I'd also like to show that or format that as currency. So I'm going to choose the format currency. I'd also like to set the decimal places property to 2. Now I also want to make it that this field is locked, that they can't change what's in this field. And so I'm looking for a property in the property sheet called locked, and I may have to scroll down for a while, and I wish they had put these in alphabetical order, but they haven't. And here's locked here. I'll just move down a little way. I'm going to change locked from no to yes, so they're unable to change it. And because they're unable to change it, they really shouldn't be able to tab to that field at all. So I want to set the tab stop to no. And here I will look for tab stop, and I think it's upwards. And if all else fails, you can look in the various sections as well. And I am seeing tab stop under other. So I'm going to say tab stop, no. That the tab does not stop at that field because they can't enter in it anyway. Now I'm just going to check that everything looks okay, so I'm going to go to the Home tab in my ribbon and I'm going to switch to the view, Form View. And here I can see $15 GST, which is 15% of 100. And as I move between the 5 records, it should change as the cost changes, and it does. So there's my calculation. And if I click in it, I can't change it. And it is also set to currency in 2 decimal places. So I'll go back to the design view. Now I really want this field to look as the other fields do as well. So I might click on class name, and using the Format tab in the ribbon, I'll click the Format Painter button and I'll click on the formula. And that'll format it consistently to look like the other fields. Now my next field is total cost, where I want to add the cost field to the GST field and show a total cost. So I'm going back to my design tab in the ribbon. I'll click my text box control, click, and then I'll click here and I'll change the label to say total cost. I'll then click on the Unbound and I'll go back to the property sheet, and under all I'll set the name of this particular control from text 15 to total cost. The control source is the formula that says equals the cost field plus the GST field. And that now appears also on my form. I want to format it to currency, 2 decimal places. I want to set it to locked and tab stop no. So I'll just go back to other and set tab stop to no. And I'll set locked to yes, which might be under data, and there it is there. Excellent. Now I also want to apply this look to this field, so I'm going to click, and using the format painter, I'll paint that look onto this field. I'll then want to view, so I'll go home and view the form view and just check it looks correct. There it is there, $100 costs, 15% is $15, and the two together is $115, and that calculates correctly as I move between the records. So now I'm going back to design view to continue to add my other functions. Now I want to create a discount field, so I'll go for my text box control, I'll click on my form, I'll edit the label to say discount. I'll click on the unbound field, I'll give it the name discount, and I'll set the control source to an if statement. Now an if statement in Access has 2 i's in the word if. It's considered to be an immediate if. So I'm going to go equals IIF if, open bracket, open round bracket, if the field term, close square bracket, equals 1, comma, then if that's true, they're entitled to a discount of 10%. So that's 0.10, comma, if it's false, they're entitled to 0 discount, close round bracket. So if the term is equal to 1, they get a 10% discount, otherwise they get no discount, which is an incentive for people to enroll in the first term. Now I'd like to format this to percentage, so I'll hit P, percent. I'd also like to set the decimal places to 0, so I'll press 0. I'd also like to go to other and set the tab stop to no, so I'll just double click tab stop. And I'll go to event, no, data, and set locked to yes, so I'll double click locked. So there's all sorts of quick ways as well, which I'm showing you. I want this field to look like other fields, so I'll click on one that's got the look I'm after. I'll go to format in the ribbon, click the format painter, and then click on the new field to paint the look onto there. I'll then go to home and to the view drop down and check the form view. So this particular record is entitled to a 10% discount because it's term 1. As I move to the second record, that's also term 1. Term 1. Here we go, the fourth record, it's term 2, so 0% discount. So that function is working correctly. So I'll now return to the design of my form by hitting the view drop down and going back to design view. One more function that I want to add is the discount amount. So I'll go to my design tab in the ribbon and I'll click my text box, click on my form, edit the label to say discount amount. Oops, now my caps lock, discount amount, and I'll click on the unbound field. I'll go to all, go right to the top and give it a name, and its name is discount amount. Its control source is equal the total cost field times, which is the asterisk, the discount field. And there you can see it also showing on the form. I'd like to format this to currency, so I hit C in the format property. So C for currency, down arrow, 2 for decimal places, down arrow, and I'll set under other locked, tab stop, sorry, to no, double click tab stop, and under event, no data, I'll set locked to yes, double click locked, and that's yes. I will then click on, say, this particular field and paint that format onto this field. So I'll go to the format tab in the ribbon, I'll go to the format painter button, and I'll click on my field. I'll then go to the Home tab in the ribbon, hit the drop down on View and check my form view. And so because they're entitled to a 10% discount, they're entitled to $11.50, which is 10% of the total cost. And that alters as we move between records. One more final calculation. So I'm going back to Design View. I'm going to add another text box and I'll click. This time I don't need, oh yes I do need, so I'm going to change the label to say Today, and in the Unbound field and the very top of the All section I'll give it the name Today, and it is a function that says equals date open bracket. Equals date open bracket is a function that automatically returns today's date. So if today is the 27th, it'll say the 27th. If tomorrow is the 28th, it'll say the 28th. And if the next day is the 29th, it'll say the 29th. It automatically changes. Otherwise, I would have just typed it. I want to format the date to a long date. So I hit L, and tab stop, if I go to Other, is set to No. Alright. Now I'll click on something that's got the lookup after, such as this. Go to the Format tab in the ribbon, hit the Format Painter, and click on Date, and it adopts the same format. Then I'll go to the Home tab in the ribbon, hit the drop down on the View button and choose Form View, and there's today's date, and that'll stay the same as I move between the records because today's date is today's date. Now that I know that everything is perfectly calculated, I want to now arrange things tidily. So I'm just going to go back to my Design View, and I've decided I would like to, first of all, select all of these options here, and holding the Shift key, all of these, and all of these, and size them to the widest, which I believe is discount amount. So arrange, size and space to the widest, and they're all the same width. Now what I'm going to do is move notes and location out of the way. Perhaps drag it down here, because I want GST to sit under the cost, and I want total cost to sit with it, and all of these cost factors I believe should be nested together, and so I'm dragging them all there. Starting with the labels, first of all I'm going to lasso this group of labels, and I'm going to align them to the right. So I'll choose the Align button and align to the right. I'll then select this group here, size them to the narrowest, because that total cost times discount's too wide, to the narrowest, and then align them to the left. Now I think they're too snug, so I'm going to highlight the whole lot of them, and I'm going to go back to size and space, and I'll probably increase the horizontal. And was that sufficient? No. So what I'll do is select just the fields, resize them so they're slightly apart from their labels, and resize them out this way as well. Not too wide. I might just go and check and see how that looks. So if I go to Home and to View, Form View, I can clearly see the content of each field, so these fields are wide enough. So I'll go back to Design View. I might also align them all to the top so they're nice and snug. So I'll lasso the whole lot. I'll go to Arrange, Size and Space, and align to the top, and they're all aligned to the top. Now I think also when you're designing a form for user, it's quite handy if you can color code the fields that they don't have to enter into, so that they know their calculations. So these ones here have all got formulas, so they don't enter any data in these. In fact, we've set the tab stop to no, and we've set lock to yes, so they can't enter anything anyway. But just to visually help them, I'm going to go to the Format tab, and I'm going to add a shape fill, and I might just fill them in with a light orange, or brown too they call it. To me it's an orange, and that just colors them differently. Okay, so now I can move location and notes back into place, and I can see they're quite differently sized. So I'll lasso this lot, and through the Arrange tab I'll size them to the widest and align them to the left. And with this lot I don't want to size them to the widest because I need to fix location, but I don't want them to be all as big as notes. So I'm just going to drag and just select this little subset here and size them to the widest. And align them to the left. And I'll highlight the whole lot of them and align them to the top. And that looks a lot better. Okay. Over on this side, I need to check if the class name is wide enough. I suspect it's not, and I know for sure that date isn't. So I'm just going to go to Home, View, Form View. Great Works is alright, but as I move to Thermodynamics Theory, the field's not wide enough, and Relational Databasing isn't quite wide enough either. So I'm going to make class name wider and today wider. So I'll go back to Design View. Class name Relay, I could stretch that out as far as here. And those two I'm happy with. Now today I actually want that to be sitting at the top somewhere. So I'm going to move everything down a bit, select all of that lot, and I might just use the down arrow on my keyboard so I don't accidentally move my mouse to the right or left. And I want today sitting up here. This is today's date. I'll resize this so it's not so wide. In fact, I might resize it way out over here and then like this. So just watch me for ideas. And I'll just pull this right out, and I'm pretty happy with that. This also needs to have that orange look. So I'm going to click on this, and using the Format tab in my ribbon and the Format Painter, I'll paint that orange look from cost onto date. And then I just have to jiggle and wiggle again. Okay, these now can all go up a tad, and I just might make sure that these four are aligned to the top. So arrange, align to the top, and now I know they are, and then these 6 can be aligned to the top, and that makes them nice and snug. And I might even add a line. So you can add drawing objects as well. If I go to Design, I can choose a line control, and I might hold the Shift key so it draws straight. So I'll hold the Shift and I'll just drag from A to B, and it will draw a line, and then I'll just use my arrow keys on my keyboard to move it down and over a bit, and there's a nice line that differentiates those two sections. Move this up a little bit, move this up a little bit, and let's just have a look by going to Home and View and Form View, and that is what my form looks like so far.